a 3-1 penalty. So, Terry, how long can the umpire stay and hold the playoff in that situation?
Well, once the offense declares its package, the
flag is thrown, going deep and into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown, at least for the moment. That's Reed, and he's hurt. Beats Martin on the play, but the penalty is going to bring it back.
Guys, last night showed that there are instances that those fantasy hyped up guys are going to work out. Terrible for Austin Ekeler, terrible for Jaden Reed, though. Anyway, though, yeah. Well,
the Cardiac Commanders are the Crunch Commanders!
They will. Deep drop again to the outside. And it's busted up at the edge. On 2nd and 6, good protection. Pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. 5-yard line. Off the fake, pass caught, touchdown. Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs. Great year last year, going deep again down the sideline, and the catch is not made.
Balanced offense.
Give it to him again, and into the end zone he goes. 1-yard attempt for Matt Gay to try to put him on the board. And a 51-yard kick in the NFL these days is almost a chip shot. Last one was good from 51, and Gay's kick this time is no good. 48-yard attempt is off the upright. He's already banged in one from 51, and this was another doink. Can the Commanders convert? Boy, I'm telling you, it wasn't easy away. Protected well. Caught. First down and more. Trying to get to the end zone. Yes. From the 8. To the inside. Open touchdown. Again, pressure. Incomplete. Batted down. They went for the rookie Lane Keyshawn. 56-yard attempt for McManus to make it 17 points, and he does indeed. 2nd and goal. Here they come. Pass is caught. Samuel dives into the end zone.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the Thursday Night Football takeaways. Again, you just saw the highlights, so I mean, that part's of it over. But again, if you want to rewatch it, I definitely recommend doing that. With that said, though, last night, the Green Bay Packers put together a very well-rounded performance on top of a very, very, very strong fourth quarter effort to put away the Commanders. They didn't allow a touchdown in the first 3 quarters, and then, the fourth quarter kind of happened. But still, this was a game that the Packers, similar to last week, just simply got ahead early, didn't let the Commanders really do much of anything on offense early as well. And the fact that that was the case really just made it harder for the Commanders to do much of anything. These are just dictating wins for the first 2 weeks of the Packers, especially against what we think are strong NFC teams. This is just, you can't really say there's better ways to win football games other than winning by like 40. Like, I just got to say that for the Packers. Probably about as good as it gets for our first 2 weeks, even against these really good teams, especially with the fact that they're going to be going to Cleveland next week to take down the Browns. There's a really good shot they're going to not only be 3-0, but looking like the class of the NFC. I don't really think so, because there'll be another matchup next week, which we'll talk about, unless barring the Eagles getting blown out or the Rams blowing it, that'll probably be the game. But anyway, Commanders, this was a tough game for them in a lot of ways. Again, they lost their starting running back, technically, I guess. It was really, really brutal fashion. I hope he recovers well. He's older at running back, which, again, is really risky, similar to what we saw with Nick Chubb a couple years ago. Not in the actual same injury, but in terms of the again, how brutal it would be. Also, again, just prayers to Austin Ekeler. Hope he can get healthy at some point, and I just hope that, again, he can be able to walk right, and that Achilles doesn't bother him for any point in the rest of his life and give him any issues. With this said, though, Commanders will be hosting the Raiders next week. We'll get more into that when we get to that game, but those teams are playing next week. But like I said, this was kind of, the score really doesn't tell the picture. The Commanders really weren't in this game at any point, to be honest with you guys. They definitely had their opportunities to get back into it, but it really never happened, to be honest with you guys. Biggest things I saw, though, were the fact that Jaden Daniels, despite really not connecting with the receivers too consistently, that wasn't the biggest issue I saw. It was the fact that, again, unlike last week, where he, honestly, you could argue faced a better pass rush last week, he did not dictate the way the Giants, the Packers went after him. The fact they were able to contain him and really make it hard on him to kind of make things happen is a underlying fact to the idea that he really passed up a lot of open receivers. I don't think it was the fact that he didn't connect with a lot of them, because he had some. It really wasn't the rhythm sort of thing. It was the fact that when he didn't always want to make a throw, he tried to kind of extend, and the fact that the Packers ran like hella contain on this game, it was very bizarre stunts they ran as well. Just again, overall great game plan, but I think Jayden Daniels just didn't really utilize his legs the right way, despite people might have thinking, oh yeah, he couldn't run at all, and that wasn't the issue. Also on top of that, they didn't run the ball nearly as well as they did last week. I understand the running game technically wasn't great last week statistically, but they used the running game a lot better as well last week. But again, they didn't have any sort of running game this week. Again, Austin Eckler, I don't even care about his stat line. He needs to get healthy, obviously. But he needs to recover, my bad. Jacory Crosby-Barrett, Bill, bro, you're going to be getting more touches. I'll say that. And then Jayden Daniels, like I said, he really struggled with that in this game. Zach Ertz was probably their best receiver in this one, 6 for 64. All again, had the nice touchdown. Terry McLaurin got locked up by Keyshawn Nixon and whoever else was out there. I really didn't take note of that. I think it was Nate Hobbs maybe. Deebo Samuel, again, he had a nice touchdown, I guess, but like the same thing, he got limited a lot. Luke McCaffrey made one nice play. All the other guys kind of just got targeted, but no one really stepped up like at all, and that was part of the reason that this offense kind of was a little bit stagnant for most of the game. Defensively, Micah Sanders still got targeted way too much. It really wasn't, again, the fact that I think that this just secondary overall was giving up any like sort of big plays or big separation at all. It was just, I don't think schematically they came in like ready for this one. I think it's partly in the coaching for that, but that's really what I saw with the defense. Especially the secondary, though. The linebackers, they really weren't that effective. Will Harris struggled big time. That was an inexcusable touchdown he gave up to Tucker Kraft. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, I think, got like 3 or 4 pressures. He was pretty consistent. Jacob Martin had a nice half sack there. And then again, Dorrance Armstrong was definitely had his best game we've seen from him in a minute. Outside of that, though, Jer'Zhan Newton looked like he hasn't really got much better. Trey Amos, I think, was okay. Other than that, that's really all I got for this defense, because then a lot of stuff came down to the fact that they really weren't able to get off the field too consistently. Matt Gay had a rough go of it. For the Packers, though, Jordan Love, again, another strong showing. This game, though, he was a lot better over the middle. Also, really trying to target those outs of the numbers on those third down situations, which I like a lot, trying to spread out that defense. The fact the Commanders really didn't get just that at all on defense, I think, is also a good sign, at least from what we saw from Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs, technically not efficient, but I think he overall had a really good game. Did, again, score a touchdown. Savion Williams, weird plays, they worked. Again, I really like the motion and orbit stuff they did with those guys. Matthew Golden, like I said, didn't really get open, but, you can work with that. Tucker Kraft, again, we all know he went off. He had a couple of massive plays, 6 for 124 touchdown. Really projecting as maybe a top 5 fantasy receiver, this fantasy tight end this football season from what we've seen so far. Dontavian Wicks had 4 catches for 44 yards. He was pretty good. Mike Keith had an amazing catch. Jaden Reed, again, if we haven't talked about him yet, he had target. That was a really unfortunate play, and he broke his collarbone. The good thing is it's not the most severe, but it'll definitely be a while before he's back on the NFL field, and he should take as long as he needs. Romeo Doubs had a touchdown. Chris Brooks, I guess he was out there. I really don't even remember seeing him out there. All that matters for this offense is the fact that they're rolling, and they were really solid. Defensively, this is probably the best defense, at least considering the offense they played against the first 2 weeks, and the fact they were able to contain whatever the Lions were trying to do last week, and obviously Jayden Daniels in this Commanders offense. I don't think the Commanders and Lions offenses will really be what we thought they were going to be coming this season in terms of what we saw last year, but I still think they're going to be definitely decent groups, so I'm not going to really try to take anything away from this defense, but just on top of the fact that a guy like Lucas Van Ness is somehow getting pressure, and I'm joking, he's playing better, and Micah Parsons is still really not getting the snap count that really he'd obviously normally be getting. It's like this defense should be very, very good, but at the same time, this is what we saw last year from them. Not in terms of the consistency, but start of the season they had a very, very good defense, and they kind of fell off towards the end of the year, and it just really wasn't the same group. I don't want to say this is going to happen to them, but there's really not too many big differences outside of obviously getting Micah Parsons. I'm obviously joking about that though. This defense is looking really good. Brandon McManus, again, he's a long range kicker. He missed that bricked one again there at the half, but other than that, he was pretty good. Anyway though, Packers the first time 2-0 since 2020. They started out 4-0 that season before getting blown up by the Bucs in Week 6. Commanders, well, you were 1-1 last year too, and you know what happened. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys there. I hope you guys enjoyed that game, and get ready for the Week 2 predictions, which are coming. Sunday predictions, which are coming out. I don't know, sometime on Sunday. No, maybe Saturday. You'll see.
So that's Barnes, 15-20. Barnes has a crease. Barnes! No flags!